Hello everyone, welcome to Friday, the 9th of May 2025. I will be reading as usual from UCB Daily Devotional in audio version. Today's topic is setting prayer traps. Setting prayer traps. Take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. Take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 5 from the New International Version as the Bible text. The main message says, when we read the verse, take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ, we tend to think it's about capturing sinful thoughts and getting them out of our minds. And it is. But it's also about capturing creative thoughts and keeping them in our minds. This scripture also means stewarding every word, every thought, every impression, and every revelation inspired by God's Spirit. A pastor writes, the Aramaic word for prayer means to set a trap. We often think of prayer as nothing more than words spoken to God, but maybe it's more than that. Prayer is also when God speaks to us through dreams and desires and promptings and impressions and ideas. Prayer is the mechanism whereby God ideas are conceived and captured, and it's our capacity for prayer that will ultimately determine our creative potential. I repeat, and it's our capacity for prayer that will ultimately determine our creative potential. One way to set prayer traps is by keeping a prayer journal. Journaling is one of the most overlooked and underappreciated spiritual disciplines in our multitasking culture. I repeat, journaling is one of the most overlooked and underappreciated spiritual disciplines in our multitasking culture. Your journal captures your journey. It shows you how far you have come and how far you still have to go. It reminds you of God's grace when you stumbled and His faithfulness that brought you back to the right road after you had taken the wrong one. When you set a prayer trap, you capture each experience and wring the wisdom out of it to be better and stronger. You need to write down the revelation, Habakkuk 2:2, New International Version. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision, make it plain, so that he that reads it might run with it. So some of us do this digitally, and others with pen and paper. What matters is that you are recording what God is doing in your head, in your heart, and in your life. With that said, as Christians, we ought to study our Bible on a daily basis. In fact, read it good and reflect on it. So today's reading will be from the book of Numbers chapter 12, the book of Psalm chapter 129, the book of Jeremiah chapter 12, and lastly, the book of Romans chapter 11. With that said, have a very fantastic and productive weekend. A very great Friday at that. Bye for now. This is your friend, Lady Estelle. God bless and keep you all. Bye for now. Shalom.